All right, welcome back. Today we were just talking about property deals in the software for that, as well as what next steps we need to take to kind of bring it to life and bring it to the market. One thing was
Tell them about our $100 million company.
yeah. Well, not yet.
Well, yeah. 10 years.
Like 5 or 6. So
it's going to be full like 2 years.
yeah, you're right. So just got off the phone with randomly called up a wholesaler. Huh? Buyers list. He's a wholesaler, flipper, mostly flipper. They buy foreclosed homes. Just kind of called him up out of the blue.
In-house cold calling, which is insane.
Yeah, in-house cold calling. He himself does the cold calling, but they scrape like super niche lists, and it's like highly filtered, so it's not like them big time wasters. Yeah, I think they do, what was it, like probates,
Yeah.
foreclosures, burnt, like code violations.
I don't remember the last one, but I know for sure probate foreclosure.
Yeah, something like that. So he was like, they had 3 or 4 cold calls, I think 4, and it was just like super niche lists, which is a strat if you want to try that out and let us know if that works. Leave a comment below.
Yeah, this guy knows me some work.
Yeah, seriously. So was talking to him. This guy is like bottom 10% of needing this, because the way they dispose, like they sell to hedge funds, and they already have like buyers lined up for their foreclosures.
I think a lot of people might have buyers already lined up,
But this is like specifically like to hedge funds and to big
yeah, right. So
buyers. Yeah, versus like, yeah, you might have like people you know that will buy, but like.
But even like if you know, it might take like 3 weeks because like the stragglers get.
Exactly, and also it will never hurt to have more interest. Like, it can only help you, and you can start a bidding war, get more money out of it. So I was kind of talking to him about the vision with property deals, which I think having the phone call was good because it kind of, I mean, you were listening to all of it. This is at Jack Savagery right here, by the way.
Read for
Yeah, okay.
You said that,
So he was listening in. I definitely did do a little bit too much talking, and I think I did ask some good questions, but at the same time I was overflowing him with unnecessary information, I think. Part of it, yeah. First of all, it was the first call. Second of all, I think part of it was okay just because like it wasn't like where I could fact find and like find pain points, because there weren't really too many on the dispo side. Although he did say they don't have like a software or anything like that, and they would be interested in like getting connections and stuff like that, which is why I kind of went on a little bit of a rant about what property deals is. Maybe what 2-year future is gonna look like, maybe less.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, probably 2 years.
Where it'd be like a sellable point.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah. So like initially, I don't know if we've ever said this here. Initially, property deals like phase 1, stage 1, whatever you want to call it, is going to be mostly
super beta space.
Yeah, super simple, specifically sold to sellers and wholesalers like us, because I mean the problem here is getting a place to list your deal, sending it out in a consistent, professional, and like psychology based manner, where the templates on like an email are going to, this will be actually very important in the future to have the numbers, but the templates will convert higher and more like they get more eyes on it and convert a higher number of buyers. And the way we do that is, first of all, the industry standard is like suboptimal. Like we can show you, don't say the name, but like yeah.
There's this guy who's really nice. I can tell he knows what's up because he's constantly calling me, and
thousands and thousands of buyers on the email list.
That's a sign of someone who knows what's up, is that they're always on the phone with you and they're consistent with follow up. So anybody who does that, do business with them. But
be the person that does that. Be the person that does
yeah,
that.
be the person that does that. These emails have like 800 different colors. I don't know what's going on. The formatting is where like some of them are underlined, some of them are bolded. It's
100 different colors.
Right. He could benefit greatly from a little bit of psychological implementation of basic email psychology. It's not rocket science, and that I did not go to school to study, but you can find out there with one ChatGPT deep research search.
Well, you didn't go to school to study it, but we spent a year.
Well, yeah, that too. And I also spent like 9 months on a marketing.
Yeah. So.
All right, so there's a little bit of something there. Fine. But for the most part, it ain't rocket science, but it's just something that A, either doesn't come to mind, or B, people just don't even want to spend the time to learn and to acquire. So we'll give it to them for whatever price, what we're free for it.
If you want to make your own emails or anything better, for that matter, look into color theory, psychology of color, psychology of wording, how to market to different people, what type of actions and feelings make people want to buy. What are also other like bigger topics if someone wants to look into?
The 6 shifts we were talking about?
Oh, the 6 principles of decision making. I don't know if we have that off memory. Likability, so they want to like who you are or what you're selling. Authority, so you have to have enough credibility and knowledge or perceived knowledge for someone to see you as an not authoritative figure, not like that, but like an authoritative figure.
In that regard. And then scarcity?
Scarcity, so you have to feel like it's like running away from you kind of almost, where it's like you're trying to catch it before the people around you do. Reciprocity. So this one's actually a big one. Can be used a lot in like service-based businesses because reciprocity basically means when you give someone something, it's like human nature to feel like you need to give something back.
Actually, if you abide to the 3-to-1 give to ask ratio. So give people 3 times and then ask for something in return once.
Yep. And also, this is like a super, super specific use case that can be generalized. Hormozy was talking about this. He was at a restaurant, and instead of the waiter ask,
this was in like multiple YouTube videos I watched yesterday.
Yeah. Instead of the waiter asking for a tip at the end, the manager actually came and said, "Can you guys give a tip for my waiter? Like if you want to, like if she did a good job, or whatever." And then he asked for like a review or something. So it was a different.
You're forgetting the key part. It was based off of how many mints they gave at the end.
Yeah.
They either gave them 1 mint, where it was like a 10% increase. I'm not a fucking nerd. I just watched this yesterday, so it's fresh. And then they gave them 2 mints, which is like 12, like 15%. But when they gave them 1 mint, left and was like, actually, for you nice people, here's a second mint. It went up to 24% tip increase, which is insane. So just for giving people 2 mints, which cost them pennies. Some child makes it in Mongolia, but it costs them like 2 cents to make. But then they can sell it and they get 24% increase in tip straight to the waitress. The waitress likes you better. Keep on.
And that hits on multiple things, but one of the bigger things is likability. So, likability to the actual person, but also feeling like you're part of them because they value you as someone eating at the restaurant. Consensus. So this one is a huge psychological factor that drives a lot of new technology growth. If you ever see like the curve of adoption, I don't know if that's what it's called, but I mean, basically what it is. Yeah, the curve of adoption. It'll show you that you have the extreme early adopters, like the people that are there first, and then you have the early adopters, and then you have the main adopters. Maybe I can get I'm not gonna do all that. I'll get like a graph. I'll put it on the thumbnail. And then you have like the main adopters, and then you have the late adopters. And it's kind of like a bell curve where most people are only gonna ever use your product once it passes the threshold where the early adopters have gotten it and the main adopters are beginning to purchase. And that's because, was it consensus?
Yeah, and then talk about the avatar similarity.
Yep. So the reason that happens is because you see everybody around you buying it, so you automatically think, oh, I should be buying it too. What Jack brought up was a good point in terms of the avatar. So this is a good tool to use in marketing as well. When you sell to the actual type of person that is your best type of customer, your ICP, your ideal customer profile, anyone who sees themselves as that avatar or wants to see themselves as that avatar will naturally flock towards you. A good example of this is Nike. They do a really good job of it. Their ICP or avatar is like an athlete, and the fact that they kind of changed this over a year, like went back and forth with everyone can be an athlete and everyone can be a winner. There was, I think that had like some internal conflict where it went from everyone can be a winner to having winners means that there has to be losers, basically. So like what was it? It was like a campaign where it was like, not everyone can be a winner or something like that. Yeah, something like that. But anyways, anyone who perceives themselves as an athlete is going to buy their gear, but that also includes anyone who wants to perceive themselves. So even a little overweight kid who wants to feel like he's athletic or wants to become someone who's athletic is going to buy Nike shoes because that's what athletic people do.
That's a very good point. That's not exactly what the sentence is. That is a separate point, which is very valuable. That's like the ideal outcome, or like the
bonus point.
Yeah, that's his bonus point. That's his seventh principle of this decision making. The consensus in this term, or for what I meant by this, I should have elaborated. That's my fault. Is that the closer that, so say you have like a testimonial, this is more so for people who are pleased with the result, or people who have gotten your ideal result, the closer they are to you in demographic, but also into their problems, like the issue that was solved, the more likely the person's going to be buy it. So for example, if I'm selling glasses, if I'm targeting old heads that are white and upper middle to upper class, if I have some like dude in a polo and he's on like the beach with his wife and he has gray hair, it's going to sell to that avatar better than like some young dude that's at like a club with glasses on. But if I wanted to sell to young dudes, then I'd have a picture of a young dude or something of that sort. Basically, you want the marketing to match who you're selling to almost as close as possible. People may overlook this. Like, this is why like a lot of, actually I'm not going to say that, but a lot of brands get twisted up when they're trying to like be all inclusive. That can hurt your brand a lot because you're not selling to everybody. You try to sell to everybody, you sell to nobody.
This is why Disney always has kids in their commercials, because their brand is for families and for kids.
Kids aren't paying $20,000 to go to Disney World. They're not. But the parents aren't associating Disney World with like themselves. Like very few people go to Disney World as adults by themselves.
It's the kids smiling and having fun.
Exactly.
And that priceless.
Yeah, exactly. Happiest place on earth. $45,000 for 3 days.
Yeah, seriously. Anyways, all of that to say, one, do research. If you can just spend a week, I know that if that sounds a lot to you, you should give up on business.
Yeah. I realized that since we started, like I've heard people be like, "Oh, I called up." Like, bro, if you're doing less than 1,000 anything, like it's a joke. It's an actual joke.
Yeah.
I don't even expect anything. We haven't done 1,000 in really a lot of things. I don't expect anything until we do.
Oh, we haven't done 1,000 calls, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not yet, but I think we
there
have. We've definitely done 1,000 hours worth of marketing and research. So we have no actual credibility when it comes to paper, but we do have it to an extent when it comes to experience.
All the material games are in the top 10%, top 3%.
I think I talked about that in my last.
You could be 85% of the way there, but we're not going to see a single dollar until we're 95% of the way there.
Yep. So, anyways, if you really want to, honestly, in any aspect, marketing will just make you 10 times more valuable. And whether it's your skill set that you're growing or a facet of your business that you want to scale, marketing will be one of the ways you can do that. And just by spending a full week, or if you want to, let's say, put 100 hours into learning marketing and learning some of these topics that we learned we said today.
One of the most direct catalysts for growth that you can do out there as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Obviously,
most people.
A $100 billion company is a different story, but most people can benefit from a little bit of marketing.
There's 8 billion people in the world, and probably more that aren't accounted for. 8 billion people do not know you exist. Like, you would be surprised as to how many people don't know you exist. So, spending hours a day on marketing.
Let me do a quick anecdote for this one. There's a story of Henry Ford. Rest his soul, nice American entrepreneur. He actually, I don't know if it was Henry Ford. I might have made that up. The CEO of Ford. I forget if it was actually Henry Ford at the time or if it was the new appointed CEO. The marketing team was working on this commercial for, I think it was like 4 or 5 months, and he walked past their office every day, and they were still working on it, and so he's like, gosh, when are we taking this commercial down? I'm just sick of seeing this shit. And they said, we haven't even started it. We haven't even launched it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be sick of things. People need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. There are only a few certain truths that you can really implement. You know, if you make a list of like 100 new habits that you're going to start 0. If you make a list of 1 or 2, it'll be pretty likely.
See it every day.
But you have to see it every single day. So remind people what you do, what value you provide, who you are, and that fact that you just exist, and that they can take advantage of the opportunities that you provide. You're going to be sick of it, but I promise you that they're not. Unless you're David Gruber, you're all sick of it.
Yeah.
He's the one exception.
Gruber Law Offices.
He probably made like $50 million a year, so I respect.
Yeah. Also with that, that's probably going to be the reason. I mean, you might not see all these videos, but a lot of these videos are going to be, a lot of these, I just got a text from someone I haven't talked to in a long time, so that was weird.
Buzz or bros?
Bros. So, a lot of the things we're going to be saying in these videos are probably going to be repetitive, but it's to emphasize the fact that it should be remembered and it should be constantly tried to be put into practice. So to close it out, again, if you really want to grow in any way, put hours into marketing and learn the psychology behind human behavior. And this was a huge long rant stemming from Property Deals, which we are not going to continue today to make this video not too long, but we will get back to that in the next couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks. We'll definitely be talking about Property Deals again. So stay tuned. If you found this valuable, drop a comment. If you learned something new, do the same. If you didn't like this video, drop a hate comment. Love those. Other than that, subscribe to this channel and subscribe to Jack Savagery. All right, see ya.